Hello and all, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for today's guest is this incredible actor known by the name of Michael MacRae. He was in this incredible fan series called Reverse Flash Origins with Colin K. Bass as Reverse Flash. So I'm about to give Michael an ad into the live stream now and have a chat with Michael. Hell yeah.
Hey, okay, sorry about that. Instagram wanted to mess with me. Oh, hey.
Hey, Michael.
It's going well, it's going well. Let me know if the AC is too loud, by the way. I can totally switch to AirPods.
Awesome. No, you're completely all good.
Cool, cool. Hey, good to see you. Sorry I'm late. Typical Flash fashion, you know. Always showing up late.
How's it been, by the way?
It's been well. It's been going well. Just life in general?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, it's been it's going as well as it can be, you know. A lot going on right now, but it's I would say it's going really well. How about you?
Yeah, it's actually been really good too. I actually live in Australia, if you don't know that.
Nice.
Yeah, Australia's been coping pretty well, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
So what I'm going to get you to do, Michael, if you can, I'm going to get you to introduce yourself and explain a bit about what you do as a person, and then I'll dive right into the questions.
Perfect. So, my name's Michael MacRae. I'm an actor and now writer and director, but we can get to that in a little bit. I live in Los Angeles. I work a bit with NerdBot, Crimson Vision Studios. I played Bart Allen on Reverse Flash Origins, so that's where, like, anybody that knows me from something knows me from that generally. But I'm an actor.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the questions now, Michael. So for my very first question, as you mentioned with Reverse Flash Origins, which was such an incredible series, by the way, you guys
Thank you very much.
Fantastic job. What was it like playing this really awesome, iconic role as Bart Allen in the Reverse Flash Origins?
Well, it was really cool. It was I was a huge fan of the Flash, the show, especially in the earlier seasons. I regret to say, and don't flame me for this, I haven't caught up to the last season. I kind of stopped when Crisis on Infinite Earths happened. I was a little disappointed, so I just kind of stopped. But honestly, it was incredible because at the time, from at least what I know, Colin kept telling me, like, hey, just, you know, this is the first Bart Allen live action thing. So it's going to be your first time ever being, or Impulse has ever seen in live action. So it was really kind of an honor because I knew the character from Young Justice and things like that, but I didn't really start looking into him until I got offered the role. And from there, it was just amazing because I had seen what Reverse Flash had become. I was going to be in episode 1. That's a whole different story. But things just kind of didn't work out. I was in Israel at the time. So, like, things didn't happen. And it was really cool to actually be brought into this already well-established web series and get a chance to play and have fun.
Awesome. So for our very next question, what was your favorite memorable moment about playing the role of Bart Allen in Reverse Flash Origins?
Oh, man. There's many. There are many, many. Honestly, getting to work with Colin for, like, before I played Bart Allen, I actually played Zoom in a very short series with Crimson Vision Studios, which is the company that they partnered with NerdBot to make Reverse Flash Origins. So it was really cool because I just got to transfer from, like, playing at odds with Colin to actually like trying to be on his side and find the good. Any scene I got to play with Colin, it was just always a good time because when we would rehearse, whenever we would be real, like, he is like a brother to me, and in Reverse Flash Origins, we really hit on how Bart and Eobard are technically related, and so it really we really had a dope connection there. And I know that's not very specific, a specific time, but just being able to shoot scenes with Colin and have fun with that really was some of my favorite. Honestly, the whole cast and crew just was always so talented and fun and just up for anything. I once had, for the last episode in season 2, episode 2, I got an audition the afternoon of, and I found out that, like, that morning, I think, that, oh shoot, we're shooting this huge fight scene, but I have to leave at 4, which I never do. I never do that on a set. And I felt so bad because I had to be at this audition, but we were also running out of time, and we shot a whole fight scene in, I think it was either a half hour or an hour, like no time at all. And yeah, the whole cast and crew were incredible. Being able to do that. But I'll be more specific for the question at hand, which was in, I think it was season 1, episode 6, season finale. Eobard, Colin and I keep calling him Eobard, we were shooting at this place where the background is like all these tubes and stuff, and it's the first like fight scene I have with him, and like I just got to like really unleash on him and just like tell him just how pissed off he made me, and it was hot. We were surrounded by cement. We're in pleather and latex. We're dripping. We're getting like a towel to like try and dry off and not die, and like. I had just gotten off of shooting Ford v Ferrari, the movie that came out last year, I think. And that was 5 days I had to spend in the desert. So I was dehydrated. Like, my hands were cramping. It was so bad. I was so dehydrated. And we had just run out of water. But we were like, no, we need to get this. And everyone there was so supportive. Like, they obviously gave me their water that they did have, like, for their own personal water, so I wouldn't die. And it was just, everyone there was we so badly wanted to get the perfect shot and the perfect scene that we just kept going. We fought through it. And I remember Sean, our director, he kept saying, one more time, just because, you know, that's how it goes. And one more time never really means one more time. And Sean's like, we were getting really near the end. I'm like, I'm dying. I'm leaning on Colin, who's also in pleather, so that's not cool. But I have this latex helmet. I'm like, I can't even think of anything to tell him. And Sean's like, okay, guys, one more time. And Colin whispers in my ear, he's like, I don't think he's telling the truth. I don't think we have one more time. And we just did it, man. And that was probably my favorite moment in the series that we got. And but really, it's so hard to choose because honestly, the connections between the cast, the crew, everyone was just so strong because everyone from like the very top, Elvin, all the way down to me and like everybody else, I shouldn't say me, but like everybody that I worked with at all were so cool. And it was just so like, it was like a family. It is a family. And that's why I kind of miss shooting Reverse Flash Origins. It's been a little bit, but I'm looking forward to it again.
Awesome. So on to my next question about Reverse Flash Origins. So if Reverse Flash Origins could come back for another series, what next would you like to see from Bart Allen?
Like another season?
Yeah.
Okay, so first, I want a new costume. I honestly would like a new costume, but I'd like to just kind of experience more of the inner workings of the Flash family, from Bart Allen to Kid Flash, maybe even getting Ginger Kid Flash in there, just really talking and experiencing what happens when you mess with time in that sort of way. Something cool about season 2, which I really wish we had gotten to finish, was the idea that we were going to be hopping from different universes that we've seen throughout DC. And I was really looking forward more to experiencing that. But Also, just teaming up with more of the future. What did I used to call it? The covert super secret future Justice League. That would be that'd be super cool because we only really got one solid scene together with everybody there. It would have been really cool to actually be able to continue on with more of that.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. With the whole suit, how like what was it like wearing the suit for Reverse Flash Origins? I gotta ask that.
Tight. No, it really hot. But it was it was awesome. I remember the very first time I ever wore it was for a it was like not a press thing, but it was like it was an event, and we were trying to get the word out there about Reverse Flash Origins. And I remember walking into this place in I think it was Pasadena, and I was just we were fully clothed up. And on the way there, I remember I saw all these like kids that were walking to or from school, or like they were walking with their parents getting dinner, and just they were so excited. And is my phone really going off? That is I'm so professional, as you can tell. I'm
That
so
you're
used to this. Um, no, but like just being able to put a smile on these kids' faces and stuff was just it's unlike anything else. I actually after I was the Flash in Reverse Flash Origins, a friend of mine decided to get me the suit very generously for like a birthday present, and I started using that suit to go and like I work with this charity called Kids Can Cosplay. I'm definitely shouting them out right now. Kids Can Cosplay, and we go to hospitals and we go and we do events like diaper drives and food drives and toy drives and stuff like that. And just obviously you can't be the superhero. There's no way that like it's just impossible. But being able to bring some sort of joy out of like taking on the resemblance of this superhero is just incredible. And I think that's pride. That's how it felt putting on the suit. It felt like very. It gave me a lot of and pride's not even the right word, but just like it made me feel good because when I was in that suit, I knew that I had to be the best version of me, if you know what I mean. I needed to live up to that suit, and I needed to help out people that I could in that suit. And I mean, I can't run into a burning building and pull people out, at least not well. And but it made me try to be the best version of me that I could be.
awesome. So on to my next question. If you could appear
Yes.
in any other Nerdbot Studio series that they've made, what series would you want to be in and why?
Hmm. Well, keep an eye out. I'm just gonna say that right now. That's all I can say. I haven't gotten permission to say anything else. But something that I for sure I'm not in as of yet, but I would love to be in is their new thing, which is uh, the pick your character, the character battle ones. I would love to do that, and I would also love to be in the. I would love to be in Solaris, which is their upcoming original series. That uh, I was just hanging out with Colin and Elvin the other day, and Sean, and uh, they've just got some really cool plans. And it's if anyone hasn't checked out Nerdbot Studios, definitely check them out because they are making some really amazing creations. But if I were to pick two, it'd be the versus battles and the character select and the and Solaris for sure.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. You were actually also in Fall Break as the character Ben back in 2016. What was that experience like for you?
Man, it it was my very first film or feature film ever, and feature film. It was my first film I ever did, and It was crazy because I was still in college at the time, and it actually, I learned a lot on that film. I learned a lot of the angles, a lot of the do's and the don'ts and things like that. Um, it was great. I mean, it was a short little comedy skit. You could probably still find it on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a huge production, but it was one of the first times that we were like, all right, we got a film. We got 2 days to get this out, and let's do it. You are the main characters, and we only have you for 2 days. Let's go. And yeah, it was one of the things that helped me learn how to film fast.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. You were actually in this other film called Ex-Con, and you played the role of Mick. What was that experience like?
So, really quick, I do also want to answer Super Cosplay Lover's question in just a second after this, because that's a good question. Ex-Cons was insane. Our director put us up in this house in the middle of, it was like 2 hours away from my place. I couldn't just drive there and back every day, but I went there and we just kind of stayed the night. We just stayed as long as we could there, and they were like, the place did not seem safe to live. I'll just say that. But it was insane because I had to play a character that, I mean, I had to find ways to relate, but the character had done some unforgivable things, you know? And the script, I've worked with that director a lot, and we make some cool stuff, but we always are given the script like the day of or the night before, and we have to shoot in like 24 hours a whole film. And that's what we were trying to do. So, and we succeeded in doing. And that was especially hard because it was such a difficult character. It was a character that was in prison for, I don't think his whole life, but for a good majority of the time. Yeah, it wasn't for his whole life, but a good number of years for doing some horrible stuff. And I wanted to make sure that I gave actual truth and honesty in the performance. So it was tough, but it was a really good experience. Another time that I learned that you have to film quick sometimes.
Awesome. So I'll let you actually answer Super Cosplay question in the comments.
Which was I fan casted as Spider-Man for Character Select. Yes, I do remember you. But thoughts on creating a Spider-Man fan film? You look a lot like Peter Parker. So, personally, I am not planning on creating a Spider-Man fan film, but a good friend of mine, Vigilante Cosplay, I gave him that cosplay name and he stole it from me, just putting it out there. If you see this, Evan, I remember. But he, for years now, he's been trying to make Spider-Man Vigilante. And that's something that I've wanted to make like with him for a long time, and I was going to play Harry Osborn in that, but recently he asked me to come on and help him write and possibly direct the series. So it seems like he does want to push more for that. But yeah, personally, I need to get a six-pack before I work on Spider-Man, before I become Spider-Man. But it's definitely on the list. I definitely am going to be working on one at some point. I just don't know when exactly that's going to be. But if you want to follow his channel for updates on YouTube, it's Evan Jung, Evan Jung. And yeah, hopefully we should be making something soon. No spandex for me quite yet. But so yeah, I was lucky enough to play Richard Nixon with the same director that did Ex-Cons. She saw my face and said that I looked a lot like Nixon. I didn't particularly take that as a compliment, but I went with it and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And honestly, dude, that was like, luckily I learned how to film quickly before then, because I shot that whole thing, which was a pretty much a 20-minute monologue straight with only a night, a single night. We shot it in like 2 hours. I did like 2 or 3 runs at it, and it was, I don't know, I think it was 14 pages, something like that. 14 pages. That first I had to, first we tried to do it on a teleprompter so I could just stare at the camera and read it, but she didn't like that. She wanted me to be looking off camera so that she could like do whatever she usually does with it. Understandable. You see something a way that you want it, you got to get it that way. I just thought of something which I'm going to get to in a second. So instead of looking at the teleprompter, I started just doing it in sections. I would learn I would learn a quick monologue, and then I would do it to the camera. I'd learn a quick monologue, do it to the camera. Because I got the script probably 2 hours before we started filming. And now what I'm realizing is I had figured out how to do it on the teleprompter, and we had 2 cameras. Why didn't I just set up the other camera right here so that she would get the shot of me not looking straight? I just thought of that, and it's been like a year since we filmed it, and now I'm a little peeved. I can't believe we didn't think of that. But no, it was an experience. It was really, really cool to get to play that character. I went in, watched a ton of YouTube videos on Nixon, like actual speeches he gave. I probably can't do it now, but I learned the accent, everything. One of my favorite things is accents. So learning how a character speaks is like, that's huge to me. And luckily I was able to, from the speeches I picked up on, learn at least as close as I could get for the accent. But no, it was fun. It was fun. I love historical pieces. I love things that are actually true, because along with comic books, in a different way, but I like historical pieces because the watcher learns a lot from that. Like they learn they learn what happened, as long as you try and stick to the truth as much as possible. And that's the thing. You can't, like, a lot of movies, they stray from the truth to make it interesting, and that's totally understandable. But that's probably my favorite thing about historical pieces, you know? Like, I like people walking away having learned something from your piece. And even if it's not historical, as long as you are trying to write something with heart and try to write something that people will walk away from being at least a tiny bit better than they were when they saw it, for me, that's amazing.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. Who inspired you as a person to get into acting?
So that's a hard question. Because so here's a little bit of backstory. Sorry, I'm answering in like monologues. But so my dad was an actor before I was born, and my godfather is currently a working actor. And my mom was a dancer. That's how he met my dad, and she met. But or it wasn't how they met, but whatever. I guess I would have to say my godfather inspired me a little, probably more than a little bit, because he's living proof that it's possible. It's more than possible, and I love that. Like, he isn't a big household name, but he's able to live a really, really good life just doing his thing and being an actor. And so he definitely inspired me to get out there and try it. But I almost wasn't an actor for a second there. Like, for my first 18 years of life, until I was in my senior year of high school, I didn't act, even though it was in my blood. And my parents were like, "Hey, you should give it a shot." My godparents were like, "Hey, you should give it a shot." And I was like, "No, I don't wanna. I'm too shy and nervous, and I don't want to be in front of people." And that's true. I went into marching band so that I could kind of just like hide from people. But then a friend of mine, Joseph, he he told me to. He's like, "Listen." And I like singing. I like musicals. I love musicals. I always have. But my friend Joseph was like, "Hey, so senior year, I'm taking this musical theater class, and I want you to join with me. I want you to be there, and it's gonna be fun. I already took it before. It's super amazing. The teacher's awesome. Just go for it." And I was like, "Okay, I'll go for it." And the very first day of school, I walk into the class. I'm looking around, and I don't see Joseph. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I end up calling him that night. I'm like, "Dude, what the heck? I'm here. I'm in this class, and I joined it because of you. Where are you?" And he's like, "Oh, dude, I didn't tell you. I can't actually be in it this semester. My schedule didn't work out." And I'm like, "Joseph, God damn." He's like, "But don't worry. I'm going to join it next semester. I'll join you next semester." And I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." So I went and did the very first assignment, which was getting in front of people and singing a musical song of your choice. And instantly I fell in love. And I was like, "Dude, who was I kidding? Why was I telling my godparents that I wasn't doing it? Why was I telling my parents that I wasn't going to do it? When honestly, there's nothing more I enjoy in life than being able to create in this sort of way." So I do, I don't know if inspiration is the right word, but Joseph definitely pushed me in along the way.
Awesome. Well, can I just say, you're such an incredible actor. Like, you've actually proved it so much in, as before mentioned, Reverse Slash Origins. Your performance as Bart Allen and all these incredible roles that you've been in has been truly inspirational. I just want to say that first up. For my next question, what have you learned about yourself as a person during COVID this year?
So first off, thank you. Second, man, I guess I learned how. I guess I learned not to. I learned to take advantage of the time that I have to create, because right now I'm already over halfway through a production that I've wrote and I'm co-directing, and I never thought that it would become so difficult to be able to film. We started in February, and then right after that, the shutdown. So it's like, when we get out of this, especially like once a vaccine and everything's ready, I want to I can't take that for granted anymore. I want to be able to. I learned that I have to take this time that we have to shoot, because like another thing that I don't know if you know this about Shakespeare. I took a few Shakespeare classes back in college, but something that he was deathly afraid of was death, and he wanted to be immortalized by his creations and stuff like that, and he is. But in a similar way, I can kind of relate to that, because maybe it's not death per se, but you're not always going to be able to create. So I want to just kind of create as much as I can while I still can. And when we get out of this, man, I hope you guys are ready, because I have been like just itching to film, and we've got one more weekend left of the film that I'm already halfway through. And once that's done, I'm hoping before the end of the year, we're going to have it out.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. If you could be in any TV or movie franchise, what would it be and why?
The Boys, done. Right there. Right there.
Nice.
So the reason why it's The Boys is I love the take on realistic superheroes. I always have, and I always will. Before The Boys came out and before Umbrella Academy came out, I had this script that I was writing about, without getting too much of details because I might still make it one day, about realistic people getting powers, kind of like Heroes. If you guys have seen Heroes, and I was like, man, I need to make this. And then The Boys came out, and I'm like, oh. God damn it! I mean, I love it. Thank God someone's making it with a high budget and all that. But it was kind of similar to what I wanted to do, except they were geniuses with making superheroes like celebrities. I never even thought about that, but it's such a realistic play, and having them be like, oh, for charity, and like, you know, we gotta help out these children, and then on the inside they're being like, oh, I hate those children, like, can't believe I'm stuck here, and like showing both sides. I think that was brilliant. And I would die to be on that show. I would die to be on that show for sure. And God, even just playing like a minor superhero or something, like, oh, I don't want to spoil, but there's yeah, I can't even mention it, but like even like a minor superhero or something, that would be insane to me.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. What are the positives and negatives into the acting industry, and how do you get through those negatives as a person?
So some of the negatives are, you hear no a lot. And actually worse, you don't hear no a lot. They say no, but you don't hear it. You have to go through countless auditions and just hope. And then like a week will go by, 2 weeks, and then nothing came of it. But heck, back when The Force Awakens, maybe The Last Jedi, something, I got put on hold for this Samsung commercial for the movie where they were getting cosplayers who dressed up as the Star Wars characters to go through as the Star Wars characters and like be in this national commercial. And it's the closest I've come to a national commercial. I got put onto, I got the callback. I went to the callback, knocked it out, nailed it. And then I got the, hey, just so you know, you're being considered for this role, and we want you for it. If we end up using you, wardrobe is Wednesday. And I was like, oh my God, my first national, it's going to happen. And they ended up choosing, I was dressed as Kylo Ren, and that's who they wanted me to be. They ended up choosing a woman to be Kylo Ren instead of me, but still had brown hair, kind of looked like the girl version of me, and I was like, dang, I'm so close, I'm so close. But I guess you develop a way to handle your hopes. Part of being an actor is you have to be hopeful and you have to believe in yourself and know that you can do it. But you also have to know that you're not going to get most of the things that come along. And you got to be okay with that. And I've gotten auditions for things that I'm like, oh, dude, I'm perfect for this. I cannot not get this. And then maybe you'll get a call back and nothing comes of it, or sometimes you won't even get that. And then for an example, my very first professional audition, sorry, I'm jumping things, but it's like in the same vein, was for a movie where a kid puts on a headset and starts going through this virtual reality world. And they wouldn't even tell me who the director was until I got like a ways into it. But that movie, where I believe I got a callback for, was Ready Player One.
Oh, yes.
And they I I mean, that sort of thing would have been life changing, but it's it's interesting because that's where I learned I needed to manage my hopes, because they always said we don't want a named actor. We want a no-name actor. We want somebody fresh, somebody new. And then they cast the guy who plays Cyclops in X-Men. So it like it's it's the it's the most amazing, not the most amazing thing. It's one of the amazing things about acting, but it's also one of the most painful, that you get these bursts of hope, like, oh my God, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, and then it crashes down. It's gonna happen, crashes down. But then it's gonna happen. It happened. And those moments are incredible. I recently got that with a car commercial that I'm in. When it's actually like released, I'll post it on my Instagram and stuff. But it's a little bit of a trial, you know, but it's amazing. And as long as you kind of learn to develop that thicker skin about it, because a lot of the times, even though you don't get it, a lot of times they really wanted you, but you just don't have the right look. I got that a few times. So like, we like you, but you're just too tall, you know? And like, I'm only 6'1", but it comes down to minor things like that, and you can't take it personally. So if anyone like in the audience is trying to become an actor, because they feel that's what they need to do, they need to have that release, that creation, then absolutely go for it. But you have to also know that a lot of the times it won't happen. And I mean, there's like the classic saying, like, you get 1,000 no's before you get a yes. I mean, it might even be more than 1,000, to be honest, but it's just the way it goes. And in the end, it's really worth it, to me at least.
Awesome. So on to my very last question, Michael. So what new projects do you have installed after COVID that you would like to announce on the show?
So, about that film that I was talking about earlier, we are 2/3 of the way done with it, and it's going to be my very first film by my production company. It's actually a longer film than we've ever released before with NerdBot or anything. It should come out to around 30 minutes long, maybe a little less. And it's another comic book story. It's called X-Men Origins Cyclops. And I actually have a few familiar faces returning to it. Colin's going to be playing Havoc. I'm going to be playing Scott. And we've got a few of the NerdBot team helping us out with it. And we took some people from NerdBot, and we took some people from other productions that I worked on, like Nixon and like X-Cons, and we kind of put them together to make this team that wanted to create this with us. And honestly, I'm so nervous about it. I'm so excited because it's like, I mean, it's the first thing that I've like ever written and put out there. And man, writing is, I mean, when you find it, when you like really sink your teeth into it, it's easy. But when you don't, it is so hard, you know? And it was so nervous when I was giving the first draft to my buddy, Dusty, or giving it to like Colin, saying like, hey, what do you guys think? But it's definitely worth it. And honestly, it's coming out to be like just as amazing or more amazing even than I had thought about. And I am so stoked to be releasing that. It should be ready by January, or not January, but December, late December. Maybe like a little bit of a Christmas time release. But I'm still figuring out the best time to release it. It might be early January, late December. But we got that. And after that's released, we are going to be putting out a an original. So that's exciting. Our very first original, completely. I mean, it's still inspired by books, but it's not like about comic books. So I'm really stoked. 2020, though it is, it's been a year, but it's got some. We were still able to create during it, and for me, that's. I mean, hey, that's something, you know.
Awesome. Well, can I just say thank you so much, Michael, for making an appearance on my show. It means so much. Everyone definitely go support Michael MacRae. He's such an incredible actor and one truly inspirational person in life. Any last final thoughts that you would like to say to people on the show?
Well, first off, thank you for having me on the show. It's been really fun. I guess just keep your heads up, y'all. Like, I know that 2020 has been a really dark year. We've all had a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of it hasn't been good. But find the thing that is your light in this sort of time. Like, for me, it's creating. Even though creating's hard right now, I'm able to at least write, get ideas going. Like, just try and find something that really makes you happy. And follow it. Do what you can with it. And other than that, just be kind to one another. Everyone's going through a lot right now. So just stay tough, stay strong, and stay kind.
I'm 364 days too early.
You're leaving me.
This is my destiny.
Pet Shop here says they're going to build a museum in your honor. Should be out this time next year.
Know that if you need anyone to talk to, you can talk to me. You can trust me.
I've been pushing myself to the limit so I can go back and learn how to use them. I will become the fastest man alive.